So today's Zoom is it's going to be very ad lib. We're going to be talking about anything and everything that comes up, which is amazing. But Mama Jen has had a fantastic idea about talking about scrying as well. So I think our main focus today is going to be scrying. So I'm really looking forward to this. So Mama Jen, do you want to tell us what you know about scrying? You're in the hot seat.
I am in the hot seat because it's something I really know nothing about. I have come prepared. I have a crystal ball.
Lovely.
Now, I looked at this and thought, who do I know that I'll be meeting soon that mentioned a crystal ball the other week? And Anita came to mind.
There you go, you see.
I've got everything. I've got runes. I've got clear quartz runes. But they're in a bag.
Very good. Yeah.
So it's, how do we start? How would somebody like me start doing this?
Okay. So obviously the first step would be that you would always do your grounding, your protection, that sort of routine. Right. So you're also in a mind state, a mindset, I should say, of being calm and collective. It's no good, obviously, trying to do any of the scrying work or any divination work because in a high state, because it just doesn't work. So what you would tend to do is do a bit of meditation, relax, and depending what type of divinations you mentioned, scrying. So you can use scrying for different techniques, like using a crystal ball. You can scry with fire, you can scry with water. It's about clearing the mind, allowing the energy to flow. And when you get this sensation where you're just about to daydream and you get, you can feel yourself sort of in that sort of space where it's so relaxing, that's where you need to be. Okay.
It's brain into theta state, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Because remember, you're connecting to the subconscious as well. Hence why you've got to be in that state. So you're allowing yourself to move up with a vibration, but allowing yourself to keep calm as well.
Can you just explain to our viewers and our audience what scrying actually is?
It's a technique where you can actually visualize, you can sense different images, or you can sense different words by using a tool or using elements of the earth. So again, we mentioned water before and we mentioned fire. So it's allowing you to it's not, how can I explain, it's not drifting off, but it's allowing you to collect these thoughts as you're actually using different divination ways of collating information. So Jen there's got a crystal ball. Okay, nice, lovely, clear crystal ball. It doesn't have to be a clear crystal ball. You could have a smoky quartz ball. It's the intention of what you're actually going to do with the crystal itself. People think because you've got a crystal ball, you're going to be able to see what's inside the ball as you're actually using the item to scry. And that's not the case, because it's going to be in your mind's eye. Or it can be, you can hear, if you don't visualize, you can hear, or you can sense certain things. So like myself, I'm a clairsentient. So I am clairaudient as well, and clairvoyant. But my main sense is clairsentient. So I tend to feel first. Then I will sense the colour, the vibration of the colour. And then I may see the colour afterwards. So it's, it's learning how to take that each step. And obviously, just as you're learning to scry, just do it for a little while each time and then build up. It's like a muscle that's not been used before. You've got to learn to, it's like any sort of divination tool. If you're not connected to it properly, then it's not going to work for you. So obviously crystals are very, very powerful. And that's why you tend to use a crystal ball for scrying majority of the time. I also like to use a crystal bowl and put water in it. And what I tend to do is I just create ripples in the water as I'm relaxing. And then I just concentrate on the ripples in the water. And that allows me then to break down in my mind's eye of what the information's coming through. So that's another way of doing it as well.
So they can meditating, but using the object as something to actually focus on, so that you're blocking everything else out and going into your third eye.
Yeah.
Are they imaginary ripples, or are you making them with your finger?
No, I'm making it with my hands. But right. I mean, you could intend. I mean, obviously, if you've got a bowl of water, and if you're not able to do that, you can intend it to be there. So what you're doing is, again, it's not imagination, but you're actually working that untrained muscle in your brain to then connect. So again, it's about allowing yourself to get to the level where you can relax. It's, I keep saying relax, but it truly is. It's like any sort of divination work that you use, to be able to connect to anything, you've got to be in that relaxed state.
Right. I must admit, I was one of the school that thought if you stared into something long enough, something would appear, and it never did.
No.
And now I know why.
Yeah.
So, we're all here to learn. We're learning from one another, and thank God that we've got somebody with your qualifications, because they are qualifications.
Yeah, so just to remind everybody who's on the call today, because I was very rude, and I do apologise because I've not introduced everybody who's on the call. So obviously we know Mama Jen brought the questions for us today about scrying, and Anita Maddock is kindly telling us a lot about it. She's our expert today on these and we've also got Rebecca with us, who's hopefully got some questions for us afterwards as well, and joining conversation. So, and of course I'm Melanie Appleyard, if you like. So fantastic. So go on, Mama Jen, what was that last question? Sorry.
No, I was just saying that we're lucky to have somebody that has this knowledge, because, as I say, I thought you could just lose yourself. I've got a funny one in that I always look in my cup after I've had a cup of coffee. And my husband thinks I'm absolutely loony.
No, I do it as well.
Why do you do that? I said, well, there's an initial there and there's a number there. And can you see that dog? And he goes, no. So
I do it with tea. Even if it's tea bags, I still do it, because obviously the tea leaves can still fall through. So
and you get a dust as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm terrible at things like that, especially when I'm in having a coffee somewhere. He goes, don't do that.
I do it with clients.
I can't not. So maybe that's my thing. But from my family history, we could have been travellers and tea leaf readers, which I like to think it would be good, that I'm getting something from the past. So it'd be nice. That's why I really fancied when we discussed scrying.
Yeah.
I thought, that sounds a bit like what I like to do.
Yeah, so it's just about taking the attention, from actually physically to the meta, physical, really, I suppose.
And I used to, in the days of open fires, we used to get up in the morning and there'd be a roaring fire because my dad had been on nights, and there was a plate of toast like that, which was breakfast before you went out the door. And I used to sit and stare into the fire and see all kinds of things. But I'd forgotten all that. I'd forgotten I used to do it. So maybe this has been with me a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
It's nice, but it's interesting how you're saying that you use that to sort of empty your mind as well, because obviously you've got to be in that relaxed state and you've got to get rid of all that mental clutter to do any sort of psychic work, you know, and to make that connection. So it's interesting using different tools like that. But I do know I do something called the trust technique with my pets, and I'm learning about that. And it's meditation with the pets. And one of the ways they say to calm your animals down is to sort of go into that meditative state, and it works an absolute treat if they're calm. But the best way to do that, I mean, obviously it's about being mindful, so you're focusing on what you can see, hear, think, taste, smell all at once. But in order to do that, you're cutting out all the mind chatter. So a quick way I do that is focus on one spot and just empty my mind and focus on that one spot, and that empties my brain, which calms the dogs down. But that same thing really is what's opening up the channels for anything to come through. So from that channel, you can actually do animal communication as well, which is similar work. It's all psychic work, isn't it? So yeah. So
and the other thing is,
sorry,
I was just going to say, just having a little thought as well, just coming as everyone's talking. You know, when someone actually tries to hypnotize you, and you get in a hypnotic state, and you know it's about you relaxing, you're watching something, you're keeping your eye on one thing. So it could be a watch, it could be a clock, it could be whatever it is. It's the same sort of scenario in a way, because you're mindful of that item and you're actually taking your concentration, you're relaxing. And that's how hypnotherapy works. You're allowing your body to relax completely.
The other thing, I don't know if anybody else does it, when I'm travelling and I'm a passenger and it's a reasonable length journey, it's the clouds.
Yeah.
And you see all kinds of shapes in the clouds. It's amazing.
I love reading clouds. See lots of dragons in the clouds and animals and people. It's incredible.
But we take all this for granted, that we just do it.
Yeah.
If somebody said, "Oh, you're a scryer," I'd go, "What?"
Yeah, I'd never made the connection that that's scrying, because reading the clouds and reading tea leaves or anything like that, it's all very sort of similar stuff, really. It's just about relaxing your mind and allowing things to come and seeing what takes form. So a few weeks ago, Rebecca, I think it was you who asked the question about how do you know the signs are there? You know, what are the signs of the universe? And these are all different signs as well. So, you know, you can see signs in the clouds and, you know, in the tea is just looking at shapes and numbers and stuff like that. And it's fascinating. It really is. Is there anything you want to ask Rebecca?
Well, yeah, as I said before, I'm quite new to it all, really. I mean, I've been meditating for many, many years, probably about 15 years now. And I have reached an altered state, you know, many times. And with practice, like you say, Anita, it's like a muscle that you've got to kind of, and I have managed to reach, you know, the settling stage, which is calm and infinite space, which is amazing. I do get colours, and I suppose I do get sort of gut feelings, but I've never really connected them with any sort of like sort of psychic sort of powers, and I don't know how to make that jump between seeing colours and interpreting what that means, or having a gut feeling and being able to kind of interpret that sort of information.
Okay, so obviously the first question would be, you know, you've got to sort of question yourself, because you're actually getting those signs. Those signs are there. So by you actually receiving the colours, I think, you know, going to basics. So one of the things we do here is obviously talk through different skills and different skill sets that everyone's got. But a good way of doing this as well is actually doing like a development class for yourself, like a psychic development class, which can give you the basics, and you can work through that as well. And it just takes a little time, but again, like we mentioned about the muscle, keep doing it, and it's your intention as well, because you know it's allowing you to then step forward and ask the questions as well. So just don't be afraid to obviously ask the questions in your mind's eye. You know, why are you showing me this colour? You know, why am I getting these gut feelings? You know, there's something behind it, and there's a reason behind it. But as soon as you start to take that step forward, you'll start to get that information. Now, you might not get the information by a sound. You might just get the words in your mind. You might see it on, you know, on information in front of you. You might hear it on music, you know, but it's their way of actually communicating with you. It's a way that they're able to communicate with you specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you link the colours with the chakras? So,
You can do.
If she
Yeah, you
saw
can do.
blue, could it
Yeah.
be that she needs to speak her mind, or
Yeah.
get something off her chest, or
Yeah,
It's
it
usually
depends
not.
obviously of the situation as well, you know.
yeah,
You can also link colours to angels,
Yeah.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot of angels who are represented. So if you're seeing a lot of blue or more traditionally orange, those are the colours of Archangel Michael, who quite often is around protection or bravery, you know, to give you that courage to do something. Quite often your white can be related to your crown chakra, but also Archangel Metatron. So there's lots of different, you know, different connections that you make to different angels. Green, Archangel Raphael, you know, he's for healing. You know, different things, different angels. So it's always worth sort of looking up the colours as well. Spiritual meaning of colours, you know, angel connections, colours. So if you're getting any particular colours, there's loads of information out there that you can sort of look up and see, you know, what do they mean, you know. And quite often you might find some places that sort of say angel colour, you know, this colour can represent this chakra, it can represent this angel, and you know, different things on there, which will be really good.
Yeah.
I do that for dreams as well. Yeah. In fact,
Also,
dreams a form of scrying. Sorry.
what I was going to say was also with colours, it can be part of the aura as well.
Yeah.
So different colours can represent parts of the aura. So you know, if you're seeing blues, you know, it can be for different things. So with me personally, when I see like greens and yellows, for me, it's yes, it is about healing, but also it's about education, and orange and yellow usually is for communication, and it can mean different things. So you know, it's depending on who's actually giving the reading as well. So you know, don't be afraid if you feel, hear, sense anything, just ask the question.
wonderful.
And allow what comes and just accept it, because sometimes
Yeah.
that's where people have an issue as well, because you get something in your head and then you start questioning, is it right, is it not right, is it this, did I make it up? But really quite often you'll find the information will come into your brain too fast for you to actually think it yourself. So then it's trusting that information as it comes. Yeah, fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah. So Anita, dreams, are they like a form of scrying of some sort?
Yeah, again, yeah, definitely. Dreams can tell you, it's part of divination. They can tell you lots of different things. If you've got something in your mind, obviously that can help you to sort of transcribe it when you obviously wake up. It can be something, you know, something that's menial, or it can be something really, really important as well. So yeah, definitely. So if you're one like me, I'm actually quite a vibrant dreamer. I can actually change my dreams as well as I'm dreaming, so which is unusual. You can't, but I can do it. So yeah, it's yeah. I've always been able to do it from a little child as well.
Yeah, lucid dreaming. I tend to dream a lot, and I can remember up to 3 dreams a night sometimes, you know, very vivid dreams. But I use them a lot because when I wake up in the morning, I always think about, well, I write them down, and then it's thinking, what does that dream for me mean? Why am I seeing that? What does it mean? Sometimes I look online and, you know, dream meaning this and see what comes, but usually it doesn't always sort of fit. Sometimes, quite often, thinking about your own life situation as well, you can, you know, you can use them as a little bit of a guide to point you in the right direction. But quite often, when you actually think about it, you can actually see what the meaning is there and what's coming from it. So I find that really helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I would do as well is keep a journal near your bed. So when you do wake up, obviously, you tend to sort of keep that information for the, you know, up to a minute, maybe more. So you best write it down as quickly as possible, and then just review it throughout the day, because it obviously can change. But yeah, definitely, dreams is a big one. Yeah.
I have them all on my phone. I get up in the morning and write them all down in my phone, and then I've got them.
Yeah.
And it's funny because some really stick with you for a long time, and then others, like you say, they've gone after a few minutes. It's really funny, really powerful.
I don't like them. I don't have nice ones. I wake up terrified sometimes.
Okay.
So I don't like it. And I tell them I don't want them. I'm always either lost, or I think the other night I was a young Indian child that had just been left and deserted. I mean, why Indian, I've no idea. But I've never dreamt of being a child like that and just left.
It feels like to me, obviously, as you were just speaking, that it is to do with the past life, but also it's about fear, because what will happen is, if you don't sort of go ahead with it and ask about these dreams, then it's going to carry on and carry on, but it's going to show you in different ways.
Right.
So you have to face it head on and ask the question, why are you being shown these dreams?
It's like when you get the recurring nightmares, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Something underlying.
Yeah. They're trying to show you in a different light of all the different things that, we're all different. We've all got fears, and I have a fear of spiders, and snakes is a big one for me. And every now and again I will have a dream about snakes, and like snakes really sort of wriggling all around me and I can't move. That, like you just said, Jen, it petrifies me. But then when I wake up, I have to think about why they're showing me this particular dream. Yeah.
I always make sure I say, I don't want any bad dreams. Let me sleep peacefully. I've even got Dolores, my beautiful dragon, that fires fire at them to burn them away, but they're still there. So I've got to work through that.
You do, yeah. There's something in the background, and it feels more to do with actually in this lifetime. It feels like something in childhood you've not been able to shake away. So you need to work through that, but you need to ask your guides to give you advice about, where you need to go with this.
Yeah. Lead me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shall have words. I shall have words tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Because it's like any negativity. I think when you lean into it and when you face it, the actual fear is less than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get more clarity through working with it and sitting with it. And it's like that with when you have like trauma in your body and you've got anxiety, or rather than pushing it away or bottling it up or saying I don't like this, I don't want this, it's sitting with it and just letting it kind of flow through you. And that way it shifts and it dissipates, and it's less fearful than it actually was if you hadn't sort of like sat with it.
Yeah.
It is fear of the unknown, isn't it?
I was
It
going to
is.
say that fear of the unknown is a big fear, because it's a fear of
Yeah.
something that might never happen or doesn't happen, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
it's fascinating. So what's your favourite scrying tool, Anita?
For me, I think it has to be definitely the water. I am actually an earth sign, but I love water as well. So, you know, I think it's just a matter of the connection that the two have got. So for me personally, it's the water, because I can just look at it and relax.
Yeah, I love watching fire, but I
Mm.
love being near the water as well and watching water. I don't like being in water.
No, I
But
like to be near it.
water,
Yeah.
I like being near it, but
Yeah.
I love sitting down, sort of, especially because I do camping and caravanning. There's, you know,
Yeah.
you can't be having a fire outside and just looking into it and all the shapes and everything that come out. It's fascinating. I love it. Yeah.
I did a diving exam about 2002, and I loved being in the water. It felt so natural to be in water.
Wow.
It was absolutely wonderful. And I actually lost my breathing apparatus during a class.
Oh, good
grief. And
grief.
I remember it seemed like minutes of me knelt on the seabed going, what do I do now? And I was looking round and it just felt wonderful. And I automatically went in, got my breathing. Oh, I knew if I opened my mouth, water would rush in, but I did it anyway, put it in and blew it out. And I think I frightened the teacher today.
You did.
But water, you know, I love the feel of water. I love floating. And it was lovely being under the sea and seeing the creatures that were there. So, yeah, I love water.
Oh, nice. I'd love to see, it's my ambition to see dolphins in the wild. So,
Yes.
If I'm on a boat or anything, I was looking out for them. I've not seen them yet, but I will. I'm determined. I'm going to manifest that one. Which that could be a nice topic to talk about in the future as well, manifesting. But we need our manifesting queen with us when
yes, we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm surprised that she's not running government. she could manifest herself as Prime Minister.
She probably doesn't want to, that's why. More fun things to do than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could put the world to rights.
Definitely. So, interestingly, actually, I'm just thinking about cards. Would you class cards, tarot cards and oracle cards as a scrying tool?
You can do. I mean, obviously what you can, you know, again, it's to take the mind off, you know, it's about relaxing the mind. So yes, you can use them as a tool.
So is that when you're drawn to a particular image and just see what comes, or even the back of the card and see what comes?
Yeah, you can scry really with anything, you know. But again, it's all to do with the mind itself and being in that relaxed state.
How many films have we watched where there was an old witch or something, and they'd throw sticks or leaves, how they fell? So I suppose you could read with anything.
Bones. I know it sounds awful. Bones you can do, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, there's all sorts that you can use to scry.
Speaking of runes, Mama Jen, have you got some runes?
I have.
Do you read them?
No.
You try?
You see, I attract these things and I don't know why. I've
do you make use
attracted
of-
these things from about 20 years ago. And they're here. They're somewhere in the bottom of a drawer in my bedroom. But I've got them and I'm not sure if I've got 1 or 2 sets.
I've got a few sets.
I don't know. I just get them. It must be a past person, my past, that's telling me to get these things.
Or maybe
maybe they used them in the past.
maybe
I think it's part of your toolkit.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I promise I keep my promises when I say I'm going to do something. I always keep my promise. So my promise this week is to dig my rooms out ready to show you next time.
Fantastic.
Mm.
You can use crystals as well, the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just cast the crystals in. Again, it's whatever you interpret. It doesn't necessarily mean what they actually mean in a book. It can be, each person's different. It can mean so many different things, you know. So yeah, crystals is another one you can do it with.
So would you have them on a target, rings, and if they're in a certain position within those rings?
No, you can do it just by as it is, really. You don't have to have anything in particular to work on. I mean, I would always, when I'm using anything like this, I would use silk, because it's a natural product, and because of the vibrational content in it, because you can use it as a protection tool as well. But always when you're using anything like crystals or crystal bowl or whatever you're going to use, just make sure you use something that's got a natural element to it. It's like cotton's another one you can use.
Wow. Fantastic. So if somebody was just starting out, like Mama Jen asked at the start, so we know to sort of take yourself into that meditative state and to just focus. Is there any particular tool that lends itself more for beginners, would you say? What would you recommend starting out with?
Do you know what? I know it sounds silly, but I would actually use a pendulum.
Right.
Okay. So what I would do is, when you actually use the pendulum and you asking it yes and no,
Yeah.
and it usually goes a particular way, so it can either go clockwise, anti-clockwise, back and forth. Yeah. So I would just concentrate on the actual crystal or the actual pendulum. It doesn't have to be crystal. It can be made of wood, it can be made of steel, whatever you want, or silver, whatever, metal. And then I would just basically just look at it and then just focus of how the movement is. Okay, so it's how it's moving, what it feels like, and just feeling the energy as it's moving, as if you're part of that pendulum.
Well,
Okay.
mine's going round and round and round. It's as though I'm waiting for you to talk to me, to ask me a question. And that's speeding, getting wider.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to ask it a question. What you need to say, well, what your intention is, you want to work with the pendulum, but you want to use it as a focus tool. So you're going to start working for, scrying. So it's just learning how to relax. And again, obviously the other method that you can use is a crystal, put in the palm of your hand, and just focus on the depth of the crystal. So if it's warm, if it's hot, if it feels really cool across your hands, if the crystal's smooth or if it's rough, that sort of thing. So it's allowing your intentions to sort of ebb away any tension that you've got, and to get into that meditative state.
When you're using pendulums, would you have a different pendulum for the different types of work you want to do with it, or would can you do any work with any pendulum? I'm just thinking in terms of setting intention. So if you wanted a pendulum to give you answers, would you then need a different pendulum to work with for scrying and a different one to work with for healing?
Yeah, personally for me, no, because obviously the amount of time I've used them, and it's just like an extension of my inner self, really. That's how I feel about my pendulums. However, when you're starting out and you're learning how to have healing sessions, or if you want to do a bit of divination, then I would use separate ones for separate items. So like I say, just separating them out. So the more, like Jo as well, Jo would be the same as me. She'd be able to use a pendulum, really just pick a pendulum up and use it, because she's obviously connected that pendulum before. You can use it for any reason behind it all. But however, what I would say is, because you're all new to it, it's good to have different tools for different things. So yeah, I would definitely suggest you have different pendulums for different ways that you're going to work with them.
Yeah, thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions?
No, I'm just keen to have a few moments with with my crystal ball.
Oh yes.
Lovely. Fantastic. Is there anything
and just
you want to ask, Becca?
I can't think of any at the moment. No, just a bit of food for thought, really.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I'm the same. I'm looking forward to doing more with my pendulum. I do have a couple of pendulums, but I've got one that I do feel more connected with, and I think if I program that, I do want to work with that, because I quite like the idea of that being more of an extension and using it more as sort of my crystal. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with that in different ways as well, which would be nice, rather than just the questions. And then, like I said, my healing one I work in different ways with as well. So
yeah.
Well, I'm using the one I've shown you as communication. Is there anybody with me? Yes or no? It's all yes or no's. And it's just nice that I'm getting people coming through. I don't know, except by asking, grandparents, because I've never known grandparents. I had one that lived till I was about 15, but from a distance, and the others all died when I was born. So it was nice getting a yes. Are you male? Are you this side or that side of the family? And I have proper little conversations in the morning as I wake up. It's absolutely lovely. It makes my day.
fantastic. Excellent. Well, I had all my crystals out on charge on the windowsill on last Monday, the new moon. So last Wednesday, sorry. So they should be nicely charged up now and ready to go. I think we've covered a lot of really good stuff again today. I absolutely love these calls on a Tuesday. We just learn
interesting calls. We all come away having learned something new, or get an idea in our heads that we didn't have before. So yeah, it's like Christmas morning, isn't it? Opening something new.
Yeah, new sides to try, new strategies. It is.
It's just not being afraid. At the end of the day, as long as you're in control, you know what you're doing. Always, like I said before, do your little ritual or your routine of your protection and grounding, centering. Always do that first, because that's your intention to keep safe. Ask your guides, angels, sending masters, to, you know, step forward and give you that extra protection you need.
Yeah.
And intend that you're working for the good, and in the light. And, you know, Bob's your uncle because they know what your intention really is.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing such great information with us today, Anita, and for all the fantastic you've all asked, and another great discussion. So we will call it a day for today, and we will be back next week with more. So thank you so much, everyone.